Zealanders are rolling in for a top-of-the-table clash. There's plenty of stars. First of a doubleheader. What a doubleheader it is as well. Jackson Cartwright end-to-end in a flash. And hits once more. He's in double digits already.
Great feed to Meninga.
Lopez goes upstairs.
What a pass.
No look fine for White. Here's the lob. Jack White. Clark gets going. Melbourne have got all the answers. Ian Clark. He has been dynamite from long range. Hello and welcome to Hungry Jack's Heritage Round presented by Mitsubishi. Thursday night action. The New Zealand Breakers taking on Melbourne United first versus third. But that does not tell the story of these two teams so far. Melbourne United, the benchmark, absolutely rolling. And the New Zealand Breakers, after a few mid-season changes, just appear to be struggling. But what a way to find form again to knock off the top of the table at Wolfbrook Arena in Christchurch, New Zealand. You look at that as I welcome in Damon Lowry, first versus third. But the New Zealand Breakers in a little bit of hurt.
Yeah, Finn, it's good to be here, man. I would have said New Zealand was sitting pretty at third, but given the current happenings, I'm saying they're sitting mildly unattractive at third, but they got enough firepower still to get the job done.
Well, you look at the injury report for New Zealand right now. Jonah Bolden, Dane Pineau, and the big man, Taco Fall. What do they all have in common? They're all front court players, and they are left very, very slim on the front line.
Yeah, that's about 22 feet worth of humans sitting out this game, so it's going to be a lot on the shoulders of young Mexican next star Kareem Lopez and Sam Meninga.
Certainly could be a breakout game if he hasn't already had a couple this season for the man who just threw it down right there in Kareem Lopez. But Melbourne United, they're not out of the dark themselves. Of course, Chris Golding, their superstar, who's in almost career best form at the ripe old age of 36. He's out for this one for the next 2 weeks. And Ian Clark, a game time decision.
Yeah, as a fan of basketball, I feel ripped off. The CG43 ain't playing tonight. And this injury cloud or question mark over Ian Clark, not quite sure what's going on there, but they got enough in the backcourt to cover for it.
Well, it is, of course, Heritage Round in the Hungry Jacks NBL. And if we're talking New Zealand and we're talking heritage, let's bring in a real lifetime example in Tom Abercrombie. Welcome in, Tom.
Yeah, kia ora, good evening, guys. Absolute pleasure to be joining you for Heritage Round. The Breakers throwing it all the way back to 2010, the glory days, the first championship banner that was lifted for the Breakers. Obviously, great memories for me as we have a look at our vision here. A very young-looking Abercrombie on your screens, receiving my championship MVP. It seems like it was a lifetime ago, but always nice to look back on those memories. Have a look at Mum and Dad. They were pretty proud. I'm pretty proud looking back to myself now.
Well, it's the first time I've ever had a courtside reporter request their own vision when they sent it in, so thanks for that, Tom. But the New Zealand Breakers right now, look, hopefully they can get back to those heights. But what we've seen over the last couple of games with the change of Freddie Gillespie out, Taco Fall in, isn't quite painting the picture they want so far.
No, it's been all sorts of speed wobbles for the Breakers, and round 10 really encapsulated that. It hasn't just been the influence of Taco Fall coming into the team too. They've had other guys coming back from injuries, trying to slot people around, find rotations, find out how they play with Taco and without Taco. So lots for the Breakers to try and work on. You don't want to be working on those things mid-season either, because this league's just too good and any weakness will be picked up by the opposition.
Tom, what do you expect with CG43 being out and Ian Clark under a question mark? What do you expect out of your countryman, young Flynn Cameron?
No. This is a Christchurch crowd.
Oh, I know Flynn Cameron's going to be absolutely pumped for this one. He stepped up every time this year when injuries as they've hit Melbourne United. Delhi goes down, Shea Ellie goes down for a couple of games, and Flynn stepped right up. So I expect him to do the same tonight. He'll be chomping at the bit for the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Tom Abercrombie. We'll listen to you soon. Hopefully he brought you shorts because you might be needed out there if they get into a bit of foul trouble. But Damon Lowry, Parker Jackson Cartwright, very rarely do you see a 34-point, 10-assist game overshadowed only when you're playing against Bryce Cotton.
What are the odds? I mean, a big, massive double-double by my little vice president of Big Man Society. And he got that 34 points, 10 dimes, 3 steals, because he's a known thief. He single-handedly kept them in the game. But who knew the guy on the other end was going to go for a career historical night?
May I respectfully ask how the guy who's currently the front runner for the league MVP is the vice president of your so-called society?
Because he does not have a chip. The president has a chip by the name of Jordan Crawford. So once PJC gets one of those, we'll have another vote.
I think New Zealand might be forming a coup d'etat eventually if you don't move him up to the president, because Parker Jackson Cartwright, probably the biggest move of the off-season was the New Zealand Breakers retaining his services. We look at the starting five tonight for the Breakers. PJC up the top, Mojave King, Matthew Mooney, Kareem Lopez and Sam Menenga. We mentioned before, Sam Menenga, well, he's in for a very, very long night because the front line for New Zealand depleted by injury, and with a team that already struggles to rebound the basketball, it's going to be very, very difficult against the big fellas of Melbourne United. Dellavedova, Illy, Krebs, White, Rob Lowe, who's in career best form. I don't know whether there's a fountain of youth, Damon, in Melbourne at the moment, but Chris Golding and Rob Lowe playing some of their career best basketball at what we consider in this league elderly.
And when they got specialized roles, like Rob's job is to just kind of shoot trail threes and rebound, and we all know what CG 43's role is to do so. It's not like they're doing a whole bunch of other stuff, but yeah, definitely they playing some good basketball representing the older fraternity.
Well, the New Zealand Breakers is somewhat of a home-road game at Wolfbrook Arena where, well, it's been a happy hunting ground for them. 6 of the last 8 games at this venue that's gone the way of the New Zealand Breakers as we get set to tip off Hungry Jack's Heritage Round, presented by Mitsubishi Motors. Parker Jackson Cartwright to get us underway. Mooney gets it back to Cartwright. The matchup on Daly. Works off the on-ball, through to the middle. Cartwright from the corner, gets it to go right on the shot clock buzzer.
That was the best 23.5-second offense we have seen. Good patience by the Breakers. PJ didn't settle for his patented mid-range, step back and knock the 3 down. Great start by the Breakers.
Great start by Melbourne United. It's Daly with the turnaround floater. The Breakers certainly a much better basketball team when Matt Mooney scores over 15 as Jackson Cartwright loses his feet. Mooney gets it back, gets the matchup, pulls up. That's good. 2 for 2 to start the account for the Breakers.
And if anybody needs to step up, it's Matt Mooney. He's been a little bit quiet lately, still averaging 14 points a game. A little bit turnover happened in his last few games, but he's gonna need a big game out of him tonight to keep this thing close.
Daly, Euro steps through, gets it to Lowe. Gets that one to rattle in. Rob Lowe playing some of the best basketball of his career, especially points production-wise.
Dean keeps a 2-headed monster on the roster, Rob Lowe and Marcus Lee. They're gonna tag team.
Mooney guarded by White. Menenga down low. Spins back under pressure. Jackson Cartwright steps back. Cashes it, the New Zealand Breakers 3-3 to start the game.
You know you really have no chance of guarding this dude if he's making step-back threes. Because if you get close to him, you know how fast he is. That is an incredible start by PJC. Good pass, too, by Daly.
Beautiful pass by Dellavedova. The New Zealand Breakers 3 for 3 from the three-point line to start here as Jackson Cartwright gets it in the middle. Menenga looks to add to it, and he does! The perfect start for the Breakers.
Wow. 4 for 4 from deep water, Felix.
The Breakers in absolute fire to begin this one. Krebs into the game for United. Lowe backs down Menenga. Fakes him out to the hook shot. Can't complete. Illy will fight for the board and he'll come up with it. Krebs. Can't complete and Lopez will take it away. Can the Breakers continue the hot streak from outside? Mooney. Almost loses his dribble, contains it. Menenga guarded by the smaller Dellavedova. Likes the matchup, gets to the middle. Can't complete, and Jack White will yank it down.
That's good patience, though, by the Breakers. Because we all know what Sam Menenga did is jelly tees one up.
Gets that one to go.
Sam Menenga, the last time these two teams played, pick and pop United into bad health. So the United are aware of it, so they switching those ball screens now.
Menenga a focal point on offense right now for the Breakers. Mooney gets it back. Daly forces him away, finds Menenga down the middle, who goes upstairs too easy.
How high quality is this first 3.5 minutes? Great offensive execution by both teams.
New Zealand Breakers heavily mismatched down low. They're going to have to find their streak from outside, and they have early. Low from outside, gets that to roll.
Goodness me. Shooting percentages are out of control. Melbourne United shooting 71%. New Zealand shooting 83%. And you wouldn't say this is bad defense neither.
Menenga again attacking through the middle. Can't get that to fall. He'll wrestle for the O board, and Jack White will come up with it. Melbourne United out. Dellavedova pulls up, knocks it down.
Goodness me. Jack White in transition.
Melbourne United, as the Breakers are 4 from 4 from the three-point line, Melbourne United 3 for 4, take the lead by 1. Mooney turns down the 3. Sizes up Jack White. Finds Jackson Cartwright. He gets the match up on one of the league's premier defenders in Shea Ili.
Off his foot.
And that's going to come off the foot of Jackson Cartwright, but the officials are just going to come together to make sure they got that one right as we head down to Tom Abercrombie.
Well, 5 minutes into this one, fellas, we get our first stoppage of the game. Absolutely electric pace to start and hot shooting from both sides. Fantastic to see the 3-ball dropping for both. Obviously, Melbourne United have been shooting extremely well all season long, but the Breakers matching them toe for toe so far in this one. A couple of well-deserved subs coming in finally after 5 minutes.
Damon, you would have thought for heritage rounds they'd take it into the paint rather than load it up from the outside, but it appears we're not following orders. Menenga from outside.
You take what the defense gives you, you run your stuff.
The three-point run for the New Zealand Breakers dries up in the hands of Sam Menenga. Daly pulls up from deep. Too short. Jackson Cartwright out the other way. Mooney steps back. Can't get that one to fall. Daly will take it away.
The faith that Dean Vickerman has in his bench. Young Campbell Blog is checked in, and I made the mistake last year not doing my homework, not knowing who Campbell Blog is. His Rob Lowe teeth went off and is no good, but Campbell Blog is a scorer. In his limited minutes he played, he knows how to put the ball in the hole.
Jackson Cartwright pushes his way through the paint. He'll pick up the foul. High-octane basketball to start this one in Christchurch.
And you know what's going to be important, too, by the Breakers? They simply cannot afford to get in foul trouble. As simple as that. So they're so thin in the backcourt, they're going to look at that guy on the sideline holding a microphone, Abercrombie, see if they got an old school jersey in the back hanging up for him.
Menenga gets the match up with a much smaller Flynn Cameron. Holds his own. Gets through to the middle and far too easy for Sam Menenga.
I'm so happy to see Sam punishing a mismatch like that, not settling.
Campbell Blog.
I told you!
That one.
Campbell Blog does not mess around.
Both teams on fire from beyond the arc as Jackson Cartwright looks to do it the old-fashioned way. He'll head to the line for 2. Parker Jackson Cartwright currently the #1 ranked player in many people's power rankings for the MVP award at the end of the year. Bryce Cotton doing himself no disservice with 59 points, but you'd imagine Parker Jackson Cartwright still just slightly edging him.
If PJC is not #1 on your power rankings, that means your power rankings ain't worth a damn. He's doing everything for this team on the defensive end, the offensive end, and he's going to have to play a 40-minute game. You might have to give him a rest every now and then, maybe, but I would love to see him do an old school 40-piece.
2-point lead, a little under 4 minutes left in this first term. It's been high-octane basketball as Jackson Cartwright splits the pair.
Max Darling's checked in. Grant Anthony Savage is in. Darling can give us a piece of what he did back in the day. Oh, Aliyah Curry's out there on the floor.
Flynn Cameron pulls up contested. Can't get that to fall, and Jackson Cartwright will take it the other way. Finds Blog in transition, gets up, and he'll head back to the free throw line.
We all remember what Parker did to Melbourne United in Melbourne, the John Cain Arena. The guy ain't never slow. Your defensive transition got to be 100% switched on. You got to show this man in water as if he was Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Dean Bickham, and of course maybe a player, Damon, or a coach we may see in Boomers colours, a green and gold polo at some stage, the talk is.
I don't see why not. I mean, nobody's asked me. I don't think I get a vote, but if I did, I'm leaning heavily towards Dino.
Aaliyah takes it through the middle, through the chest of Antisevich, falls back, and it's good. Melbourne United having no trouble scoring the ball without their scoring leader and Chris Golding on the floor. Antisevich looks to post up, can't get the feed, gets it eventually. Guarded by Dellavedova. Back to Jackson Cartwright, fades away. Can't connect, and it'll go the way of United.
I mean, you can just tell the Melbourne United bench players, trainers just must be hell. It must be that competitive. These guys are hitting the floor as if they're starters. They play with so much confidence. And any wonder, too, with the faith that Dino shows them. On the road, first quarter.
Of course, Melbourne United so deep. And the New Zealand Breakers, to their credit, coming into this season, a lot of people didn't rank them high, didn't give them much of a shot at all, but they've proved everyone wrong. Petteri Koppinen appears to be one of the better acquisitions of coaches we've seen in a long time.
I hope Petteri Koppinen likes it here, likes it in New Zealand, likes it in this league. He's been a breath of fresh air.
Draws the contact, and he'll get the and one.
A little bit of bully ball by Shea. Yeah, no, Petteri Koppinen's done a great job, and now that he's playing, it's almost like his team is kind of back. Even though Jonah Bolden is out hurt and Dane Pinot is out injured, with Taco Fall not being in the lineup, I feel like Petteri Koppinen can kind of go back to the style of play he originally was playing, coaching with for those first 10 games.
And New Zealand, as we mentioned on the top of the broadcast, is Shea Ili knocks the extra, depleted on the front end of the court. Dane Pinot, Jonah Bolden, and Taco Fall holding their own on the rebound count at the moment. Antisevich. Shea Ili doing what he does best, attempting to tip that off. No luck there.
New Zealand Breakers, obviously, they're just giving Parker a real quick rest. Hopefully it's not for too long. But they got to be so efficient on offense. They got to keep the turnovers to a minimum, which they are right now with 0. They can keep that up if they can weather this storm, because Melbourne United will not relinquish this defensive pressure.
Mooney fades away. Can't get it to roll. And Darling will use the big body and come down with the board. And they'll head to the line for 2.
Great job by Max Darling on the offensive glass. A very underrated, unassuming athlete. But a guy that can just capture your heart, can't he?
Well, when you got to call him Darling every second play, he certainly sounds that way. But a guy coming into the season, a lot of people are starting a few games early, as he doesn't miss the first. Starting a few games early, there was a lot of talk of people saying, you know, why is he out there? He's not up to this standard. And I'll tell you what, egg on the face of a lot of those people, because he certainly proved them wrong.
The coaches knew what they were looking at. He played that for his very first game. He didn't attempt a shot. In the game after that, he came out very aggressive.
3-point lead for Melbourne United. Ili works off the Jack White screen. Cameron turns down the 3 in the quarter, attacks. Up with the left, rattles home. Flynn Cameron, you spoke on the top of the broadcast, Damon. He's a guy with, of course, Ian Clark being managed with injury. Chris Golding out for 2 weeks. That's really going to have to step up.
Flynn's had a sensational year. He had 20 points the last time these two teams played. As Meninga misses a little righty, but Flynn is playing like a seasoned veteran. I'm loving everything about his game.
Flynn Cameron, of course, stuck behind a logjam of elite NBA-level guards, trying to fight his way into the rotation.
I still feel he's getting enough minutes. He don't have to start. He don't have to play 25 plus, but he's ready to if called on.
Ili finds Aaliyah down low, tries to get it to Jack White, who comes up with it eventually. And he'll just step those feet a little too quick.
You can tell the catch is an athlete. He fumbled that one, but he's lively around the basket.
5-point lead to Melbourne, a minute and a half remaining in this first quarter. Hot shooting to open it up The New Zealand Breakers in 4 for 4 from the three-point line to open their account. As Parker Jackson Cartwright enters the game. You'd imagine Illy would relish the task of trying to slow down the leading MVP candidate. Mooney. The errant pass saved by New Zealand. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Menenga, he's hit one from outside, goes through the middle, gets up. He'll take a hard fall, but he'll go to the line for two. Sam Menenga, the lone wolf in the front court right now.
You don't count
New Zealand Breakers.
You don't count Kareem Lopez as a wolf?
Kareem's a young fella. He's certainly showing us that he's a wolf at times. But he's more of a finesse, skill-based operator.
He's an El Lobo. Now this Parker Jackson Cartwright, Sam Menenga pick and roll. Parker gets downhill, sucks the entire defense in. You got to be so disciplined on the perimeter because once he kicks it out, Sam Menenga's now got a closeout. He can shot fake, one of the best shot fakes in the league. He can put the ball in the basket and get on the rim. And now he's at the foul line. I would be doing a whole lot of this for this game between them two.
Well, Melbourne United are probably best equipped to at least try to contain him. Am I right saying that, Tom Abercrombie?
Decent on-ball defenders that we have in this league. Obviously, they're going to get up and in on PJC, which opens up, to an extent, the strengths of his game. So how they balance how much defensive pressure they're putting on Parker and how they actually give him a little bit of a gap will be really interesting to see because it's not usually in their nature to back off at all, and I don't expect them to, but Parker almost welcomes that.
Certainly does. 9 points so far in the game from Parker Jackson Cartwright. You can almost do as much as you can. A lot of it's up to him. Pass tipped off from Illy. He keeps possession, gets it to Jack White, who takes it through the middle and gets the and one.
Good job by Jack White. Cutting to the key and a great dime by Shea Illy. Now, Parker got to be careful. Can't be picking up these cheap fouls because they're going to need you out there for at least 37, 38 minutes.
Jack White, of course, another guy who came back from the NBA's Krebs, recovers the rebound. Of course, Melbourne United, one of the best rebounding teams in the competition. The New Zealand Breakers have struggled as Jack White goes upstairs. And he'll head back to the free throw line.
I mean, they got a two-headed monster in Rob Lowe and Marcus Lee. Marcus Lee hasn't hit the court yet. As we look at the Amy replay, Jack White challenges the youngster, as you should. Kareem picks up the foul. But they're going to rebound. Rob Lowe and Marcus Lee will rebound for their minutes. They're like one massive center combined. And then you got Jack White averaging 10 boards a game.
Jack White, as I was saying before, has come back from America. Sometimes it's a bit of a lottery to see what guys will come back as, but he has increased his production in all the areas that Melbourne United would have wanted. That one goes away, and Krebs yet again comes up with a board, and White gets it back again. Illy backs down into the key. Draws the contact, goes unwhistled, and the Breakers will take it the other way. PJC up top, guarded by Illy. 2-second differential between shot and game clock. And the officials will just make sure that that is the case.
And we see young Sean Bairstow in the lineup as well out there on the floor. He had 12 points the last time these two teams met. Even though they got some outs, the New Zealand Breakers got the dub last time. They're feeling very confident about getting this win.
And the New Zealand Breakers are a team who, throughout history, throughout COVID, have had their backs against the wall time and time again. Now, admittedly, a different list, a different roster, but certain clubs have that ingrained in their culture, and the Breakers are one of those clubs who, when their back is against the wall, you'd be very, very brave to write them off.
That's why I reckon in the preseason, every team should get their backs up against the wall. Forget all that cute stuff they do in the preseason these days. Just find a wall and just press their backs up against it for as long as you can. Find a breaking point. It'll pay dividends later.
See, what I think some's breaking point would be long, long before yours, Damon. Of course, if those follow you on social media that you're doing. How many kilometers do you run a day?
A day? I get 100 in a week. Let's turn this into the Damon Laurie running podcast now. Let's back to the game.
We've got a little clock malfunction at Wolfbrook Arena, so we're back to 27 seconds. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Mooney crosses back, almost loses it, regains. Can't get past Flynn Cameron, who gets whistled for the foul. And Matt Mooney will go for the line for 2 with 0.8 seconds on the shot clock. Bailed out at the last second.
And these are the defensive plays that Shea Lee makes that don't go into a stat sheet, but real ballers see it. He denied the absolute hell out of PJC just then. He couldn't get the ball, so they had no choice but to go to Mooney. And Flynn did a great job, but got too overzealous with the shot clock next to 0, and then just got a cheap foul. That's what Dean's talking to him about right now on the sideline.
2 fouls in the game now for Flynn Cameron as he heads to the bench. Mooney knocks in the first.
Oh, my man's on the floor. Carlin Davison. I've nicknamed him Bounce. I hope you don't mind that, Carlin.
Certainly seen some spot minutes throughout the year and has proved himself as well. He hasn't come in and disappointed.
He did a great job in Perth. He defended Bryce Cotton better than anybody, if you can say that, given the points that Bryce put up. But this dude is a tall, looks like he's about 6'6", 6'7", a hell of an athlete. And got a 3 ball.
Shot clock is off. 14 seconds remain. A 4-point lead for Melbourne. Down to Dover. Finds Krebs, gets it back. Works to the middle. Can't find anything. Fades away. That's no good. And Carlin Davidson will come up with a rebound. A 4-point lead in a high-octane first quarter to Melbourne United. Plenty more coming up next. Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks Heritage Reign, presented by Mitsubishi Motors. It's the usual suspects doing work. Melbourne United lead by 4 to the Breakers. Parker Jackson, Cartwright, and Sam Menenga sitting with 9 points. And for Melbourne United, Daly leads the way. No Chris Golding for Melbourne. It's interesting to see where they'll get their points from right now. And for the New Zealand Breakers, a team that is depleted on the front line, Damon Lowry, they're holding their own downstairs.
They're playing good basketball. It's offensive execution. Nobody's playing outside of their frame. They're taking care of the ball. It's been a very clean game. Only 1 turnover in the entire quarter, and that's good ball movement. Good extra pass. Jack White on the finish.
San Antonio Spurs-esque ball movement to start the opening term there for Melbourne United. As we head down to Tom Abercrombie, who listen to the timeout.
Yeah, had a good listen to Melbourne United's timeout in that one, and Coach Dean Vickerman pretty happy with how his team has started. Just talked about that hot start from New Zealand, obviously 4 for 4 from the three-point line to start that first quarter. Felt like all those looks were pretty tough, contested ones, so was not worried about them continuing that hot shooting throughout the quarter, and they did cool down a little bit. So he's happy with the effort and intensity from his team to start this game.
Tom, does this style of play look more reminiscent of how the Breakers were playing early in the season before Taco Fall came in? Is Jack right?
A business decision there from Karim Lopez to just say, hey, I'll let you move ahead with that one. As Matt Mooney forces his way baseline. And down to you, Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, just on your point, Damon, I think you're right. I think the Breakers, with this smaller lineup, are able to play that up and in defensive style that they played earlier on in the season. They're able to get out and hard show, which is what they were so good at in the first part of that season. Obviously, when Taco comes into the game, it completely changes the way that they play and slows things down, as it should when you've got a 7'6" guy anchoring your defense. But they're much more accustomed to playing this way and flying around at the defensive end, and I think they're looking pretty comfortable at that end so far.
New Zealand Breakers still sitting third on the ladder, albeit a tough last few games. The loss of Freddie Gillespie and the gaining of Taco Fall, but right now they're looking better than ever against the red-hot Melbourne United. Ellie just slows down the pace up top. Gets it back from Bowen. Steps back to the corner. That's no good. Nothing but air. And New Zealand will push the pace the other way. Mooney, guarded by Daly. Menenga over the top, far too easy, gets up.
You got decisions to make, Melbourne United. You don't want to switch this ball screen these days to Sam Menenga's taking you down low, punishing whatever guard switches out on him.
Sam Menenga, we speak of being the only player left in that front court. 13 points early in the game for Sam Menenga. He's pulling his weight.
When Rob Lowe started the second quarter, I wonder, is Marcus Lee okay? I wonder if Marcus Lee is all right, or is just going to go with the local and Rob Lowe.
Daly with the attempted quarterback pass is tipped off. And you're right, Marcus Lee will maybe send Tom Abercrombie down there on the case to try to work out what's happening with Marcus Lee.
Not saying he's hurt or anything, just kind of, you know, the rotation-wise, this isn't normally what happens.
Daly from the corner. Again, the second air ball in a row for Melbourne United. Shea Illy will have a chance, and that one's no good. The early hot streak shooting is dried up right now for United. Still a 6-point lead as the Breakers look to eat into it. Menenga guarded by Bowen. Finds Mooney, who fades away. Splashes it.
I like that set. Matt Mooney got a choice to make. Does he come off the stagger double out of the corner? If you try to top block it, he's kind of cuts underneath. And 6'8" Sean Bairstow is the backup point guard.
Illy too easy through the middle. Put off by Karim Lopez, and the Breakers are out the other way. Bairstow finds Lopez in transition. Gets away with a bit of footwork. Anticevic dared to shoot, turns it down. And Menenga, the help defense lurks in the middle. Gets it back on the outside. Euro steps around, and Sam Menenga is having himself a game. 15 points.
Is he ever? Sam Menenga's giving you the entire arsenal. He got the three ball. He's posting up guards, pump faking, getting on the rim. Can he be guarded?
Well, it's a two-man show for Karim Lopez and Sam Menenga on the front line. We've mentioned time and time again, if you look at the Amy replay here, of the injuries, and right now, coming off an equal career-high 25 points last game. Tell you what, in a couple of rounds where breaking career highs has been the trend, Sam Menenga's looking at that one himself.
Hey, we've seen glimpses of this with Sam last season. He's in Cairns, just wasn't on a consistent basis, but now with the way the Breakers are, with their lineup, he's looking great.
Well, the lineup certainly had to make some changes, and Tom Abercrombie caught up with Coach Kopp to just discuss those changes earlier.
Who steps up tonight? Who's going to get those backup minutes after Sam Menenga?
Well, we got few options, Grant Anticevic or Max Darling. Those guys need to step up, be physical, and we have our plan, how we plan to use them, and we'll see. But obviously, it's not only who gonna guard, but then it's the rebounding battle after they take the shots, how we can be physical down there, get the rebounds. We're gonna play, one of the best offensive rebounding. Jack White is there tonight against us, and Rob Lowe, Marcus Lee. So it's gonna be a battle of boards, and if he can do a good job there, it kind of give us opportunities to run the floor, and that's when we are dangerous.
There's certainly a bit of Bond villain about Coach Kopp when you hear him give these press conferences. So if he's ever out of a coaching job, which I don't think will be anytime soon, the way that he is coaching this basketball club, then there may be another career opportunity. It's a beautiful accent.
You ever been to Finland?
No.
They might not want you there.
Certainly some countries that don't. A 2-point lead for Melbourne United. The Breakers have started to eat into it through this second term. Daly up top. Working his way around those on-ball screens. Finds Blogg, who steps back. Turns down the three. And Kyle Bowen, the trebuchet, misses from outside. Menenga gets Kyle Bowen on his feet. Can't get the little floater to fall.
I'm bewildered how Sam.
Why is that, Damon?
He was wide open on the pick and pop, and he didn't shoot it.
He's certainly got the ability to shoot it from outside.
Shots. He does that from time to time. Forgets how open he is. Forgets how good of a shooter he is. He does that from time to time. You need to cut that out, Sam.
Well, if you're into niche statistics, he is averaging 2.8 three-pointers made per game against Melbourne, which is the most of any team, Damon. So he does like to knock it from outside against United.
He takes advantage of how they defend the ball screen. Maybe he just didn't want to shoot on the first pass, but he's feeling good about life right now. Let it fly.
New Zealand Breakers starting this game, this second quarter, well on the defensive end. Mooney off the screen from Menenga, gets into the paint, floats it and cashes it.
Nice patience by Matt Mooney. Worked that ball screen, lovely, got right down to the teeth of the defense. Nice little runner.
Daly, poise as always up top. Gets the matchup with Anticevic, sizes him up. Kicks out to Blogg. Can't fall, and United will come up with the offensive rebound, and Daly will load it up from deep and can't connect there. And the Breakers happy to let it roll out of bounds.
Yeah, the shooting has dried up a little bit for Melbourne United. They were 3 of 4 first quarter from downtown. Now they're 4 and 12.
And here's where Chris Golding in the past has been that bailout guy, where he hits tough shots, he gets the team going, and right now Melbourne just struggling to find that spark plug. Mooney up top. Harassed by Dellavedova. Gets deep into the paint. And Menenga once again turns down the three. We'll find the sharpshooter in Anticevic outside. And Besto will clean it up and retain. Menenga. Wow. Too easy. Downstairs, but can't get it to fall.
That's some good offensive execution.
Daly flings it out to a wing. Blogg. Krebs will work off the Aaliyah on ball. Blogg. Can't get that one to fall, and Melbourne United scoring has dried up. But Tom Abercrombie, we mentioned the whereabouts of Marcus Lee before. Have you tracked him down?
Yeah, guys, had a little chat to the Melbourne bench just before. It didn't sound like Marcus Lee was quite 100%, but he's still able to participate, but more of a matchup thing, I think, tonight. Obviously, the Breakers playing pretty small for the majority of this one, which has been forced upon them, and Melbourne United just trying to match that with a bit more of a smaller and more mobile lineup tonight.
Don't like it.
Krebs gets it to go from the outside.
No, I don't like it. No disrespect to a catcher. No disrespect at all. But Marcus has played against smaller mobile dudes his entire life. I think Dean might just be playing some little coy tricks over there.
Besto through the middle. Too easy. 1 point lead to Melbourne United. Whittled down from a 4-point lead at quarter time. And we are going bucket for bucket at Wolfbrook Arena. A little too handsy there from Max Darling on Aaliyah.
What a clean first half the New Zealand Breakers have played. I mean, Imperi Coppin, if he can get out of this half without using PJC, who's on 2 fouls, They've got 2 turnovers for the whole half so far. Melbourne United only got the 1 turnover. This is just a clean game of basketball.
Krebs can't get that one through the middle. Jack White will take it away. Mooney. Darling swings it out to Bairstow. And Mooney teases it from deep. Turns it down. He likes the matchup with Bowen as he pushes the screen away. Gets through. And that's exactly why.
Matt Mooney has definitely stepped up. Sometimes the situation calls for it. He's responding. Got 11 points on 67% shooting so far.
Dellavedova running the show for Melbourne. He likes the matchup with Anticevic. Goes through the chest, uses the body, fades away. And his second air ball. As Melbourne United, Krebs has been someone who's been able to find the outside, and he comes up short that time.
Now, I know Delhi backs himself to be able to bully most people in the league, but that wasn't a good shot. Came down with the offensive rebound, and Tanner missed a 3, but Melbourne United looking real clunky on the offensive end right now.
Max Darling, the bigger body, but just uses a little too much elbow, and good defense by Campbell Block.
Why did he do Darling like that? I wanted you to see the replay.
It's always a tough one when you get the smaller player behind you. You want to get quick to it. That's what Darling did, but an illegal motion.
And you got to give Melbourne United credit because there's not one road game in the league this year that you just go, okay, this is going to be easy. Not one. If you go on the road, this is going to be a hard place to get a win. But Melbourne United are where you kind of want to be, considering only down 1, playing some solid basketball.
Breakers with a slim 1-point lead. Illy works off the Rob Lowe screen. Finds White in the corner. Gets Darling off his feet. The hook shot to the middle comes up short. Menenga will pull it down. Bairstow rejects the screen. Finds Menenga, who again turns down the 3-point shot. Darling will take a chance, and that's cash.
Darling. That is a great ball movement because Melbourne United, they're going back to their drop defense with Rob Lowe, but they just get some weak side quick rotation, but they just made the extra pass, and Darling made them pay.
Tangerine timeout for Melbourne United. And the New Zealand Breakers right now playing some of that good ball that we saw get them those 7 wins.
Pettery competent, man. Pettery competent. He just brought this whole Euro flavor, and I need to know all these dudes' names, the whole coaching staff, because I saw that one dude handling the ball in the warm-ups, and he looked like he one of the best guards, the handler that he had. They just playing a great style of play. It suits all their personnel. No matter who's on the floor, it looks good.
Tell you what else I love about that New Zealand coaching staff? They're all dressed in suits, and they're all looking good, and they're coaching the exact same way. Look good, coach good, Damon Lowry.
I don't mind it.
Bring the ball up.
Well, it's Melbourne United coming into this second term as we listen in to Pettery competent.
First side, hey, big shot.
Hey, you gotta go with speed so there's no ice. Go with speed so there's no ice. Let's go. 10 on 3, 1, 2, 3.
New Zealand Breakers are winning the rebounding 17-12. You wouldn't have thought that'd be the case considering they got 22 feet worth of dudes not playing.
Certainly wouldn't. And Tom Abercrombie mentioned, of course, Marcus Lee riding the bench for this one as Melbourne United look to go to a smaller lineup, which you would think Damon Lowry is not the way you would have gone.
Why do teams always try to match the other team? Just go with just big studs and just punish them.
Tom Abercrombie, do you have any more updates on Marcus Lee for us?
Well, Damon, your intuition is actually correct on this occasion, mate. It does seem like Marcus Lee, he's not 100%. I think he can play if needed, but the preference or decision at the moment from United is to keep him out of the game. And he's looking pretty stiff on the sidelines there, so I wouldn't expect to see him take any further part.
You notice that Tom said, on this occasion, you are correct. Words mean a lot, and there was some venom in those. As New Zealand, the errant post pass gets picked up.
Sure.
Krebs looks to push. Gets to the middle. Thrown away by Max Darling. Krebs' attempt to go coast to coast was sent away. Jack White will chase down the board. And throw the long pass. Max Darling will get another chance at it, and this time, Melbourne United get one up.
Darling, great defense on the one possession. Melbourne United push it back in transition, and Darling just picks up a very cheap foul. That's his third.
Time out to the New Zealand Breakers. Of course, Coach Kopp probably not happy with leaving yet another guy wide open on the full court pass. It's been tipped off a couple of times, but you can imagine, Damon, you've played enough basketball to know that that full court pass can be a coach killer if you keep leaking out in transition.
100%.
Well, Dean Vickerman, it's a tie game right now, so not a huge amount to work out, but Tom Abercrombie caught up with Vickerman earlier.
Well, I'm joined by Dean Vickerman. Dean, you were an assistant coach for the Breakers in 2010 when they won the championship. Tell me what you remember about that game.
Yeah, a while ago, but, you know, obviously a series against Cairns that was, yeah, double overtime up in Cairns, Ron Dorsey, big shots, and, yeah, coming back to New Zealand and you know, smoking them in the grand final, in game 3 to get the win.
And a lot's happened since then. Now you're obviously with Melbourne United and you've got that team absolutely rolling. You guys are playing very well at both ends of the floor. Where do you see the areas that you can still improve? I know you're always looking for places you can improve.
Yeah, obviously challenged. You know, CG's been playing amazing basketball, and so how do we play without him, which we haven't done this year so far. You know, defensive rebounding's had its moments. It's been at a really high level at different times, and then, yeah, you know, there's the coverages of different teams, the shows, the switches, how you keep moving the basketball and get great shots.
What was going on with beards and New Zealand basketball in 2010, Damon?
Trying to keep their faces warm. Freezing over there.
Were you ever a promoter of the don't shave your beard until you lose? Take it the whole way through?
No, but I do remember the Townsville Crocodile season led by Ian Stacker. They went on this run. They said, we're not shaving until we lose. Them guys ran off about 14 or 15 straight. And they were scratching like they had the fleas.
Rob Lowe wrestles back the lead for Melbourne United, 42-41. The New Zealand Breakers heavily undermanned, but certainly never underestimated. PJC works off the Menenga screen. Mooney. Can't get that to fall. Jack White will pull it down. And again, the full court pass to Rob Lowe. Gets that one to fall, and Coach Kopp not happy with what he is seeing.
I don't know how you say, get your asses back on defense and finish, but they about to hear it.
Well, I think we're about to hear it too on the broadcast, because yet another timeout right now for Coach Kopp, and it does not take a genius to realize why the first one was called. He is not going to be happy with that.
And they ran good offense too just then. Now, they put two shooters. They got Sam Meninga on one side with Matt Mooney. They see how the Melbourne United are playing a drop, rotating out of that, off that weak side. So they're just going to put a shooter over there. Matt Mooney had a great shot in the corner. He just missed it.
Well, we'll try to listen in here to Petteri Koppinen. I get the feeling that if you're working the beep button, you might want to get your fingers ready, because he is not going to be a happy man.
Hey, next play we go 4 up. 4 up, get open. Grant, Parker, go get it. Clear, and pick and pop it empty. This corner guy, Mo or Matt, you clear. So Parker, you have Sam with the empty corner. Attack, let's go. 4 up with empty, let's go.
Together on 3, 1, 2, 3, together.
Let's go, transition G, let's go.
Cool, calm, and composed.
I love it. I love it. Love everything about Petteri. A European guard. Once led a World Cup in assists. There's not a scenario on the floor he hasn't seen. Nice, calm communicator. Now let's see if they can execute.
Extensive playing career, and of course it is tough when Taco falls in the game. He's injured at the moment, but to totally upend your style to be able to equate for a 7'6" guy. Mooney up top. Gets the ball back from Anticevic. Guarded by Cameron with the 2 personals already. Finds the matchup with Lowe and turns it down for Menenga. And that'll be the 3rd personal on Flynn Cameron with only 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Isn't the game simple sometimes? They calling for the switch. Sam Meninga's not going to let Flynn Cameron off the hook. Flynn got to be smarter and protect himself. Flynn's annoyed right now with that call. He just got to do a better job of protecting himself.
Well, Cameron obviously frustrated, would have this one penciled in with the injuries as a breakout game for him, as Mooney wrestles it back and cuts the lead to 1.
Parker with his thieving ways, turned the ball over, just went and stole it right back.
Illy in no rush. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dellavedova again. He's found low all night, rolling to the rim, and he finds him there again.
Old school pick and roll basketball.
Shot clock is off. 6 seconds remain. PJC to the rim. Tipped away by Shea Illy, but the Breakers will retain possession. 2 seconds on the game clock. Mooney fades from the corner. Comes up short, and Melbourne United will enter the main break with a 3-point lead, an action-packed first half. You get the feeling that this one is going to go right down to the wire. Well, let's go downstairs to Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, I'm joined here by Sam Meninga. Sam, a mixed half for you guys. You look like you're pretty frustrated out there at times. What's frustrating you?
Minor errors, mental lapses. You know, it's fine if it's a physical breakdown, but mental lapses can't really happen right now.
In second half, what's got to change for you guys to get over the line?
Tightening up those mental lapses.
Good luck, mate.
Appreciate it.
Both of these teams fighting through injury, but Sam Meninga left alone on the front lines tonight, and he's doing his work with 15 points. It's a 3-point lead to Melbourne United. Plenty of second half action after the break.
I was kicked to the curb after the 1990 season, and I didn't have a team, and things weren't looking good, but I was luckily picked up by Gary Fox, who'd just taken over the Saints. It was good timing because that's when Brian Gorge and Spectres and the Southern Melbourne Saints merged to create the Magic in 1992. I was only one of 2 players that they'd sort of carried over. Brian was introduced in that press conference to start 1992 as the championship coach. So it was quite clear the expectations of this super team. We would be training pre-season before any other team. Early January we were hitting the track. It was a bit foreign, but I soon learned that you're either in or you're out, and I wanted to be in.
Game 1 of the best of 3 grand final series. Tigers will win this game.
We lost game 1, and we actually lost our point guard Darren Perry to an Achilles. So our backs were against the wall. We rallied, we won game 2 and then won game 3, and we took the title.
And the Magic are champions for season 92.
By the time 96 rolled around, we were ready to win another one.
4 seconds to go. Parkinson, the last shot of the game for 3. It's there! They had absolutely destroyed the Melbourne Tigers in the 3rd and deciding game.
In that 96 series, we beat the Tigers by 38 points. That was just a magical time to be involved in basketball. I think to make 8 top 4s, to make 4 grand finals and to get 2 rings out of that is okay. But I don't take offence if people say we underachieved because we had such a great team and a great coach. I love the retro round. It's nice to get recognised and to be a part of it because myself and I think a lot of the players in my era were very proud and we felt blessed, and we love to see the game the way it's moving.
It is tough to find a better man in the world than Parky right there, and we hope you're well and doing well at home. Damon Lowry, a action-packed first half there. They started hot, slowed down a bit and started to find a bit at the end. But Melbourne United, without Chris Goulding, they lead by 3 at the moment. It's been Rob Lowe that stepped up.
Rob Lowe's been sensational. He's been running the floor, maybe cherry picking, I don't know, can't tell. But Rob Lowe's been playing some great basketball. He's got the 16 points. He's going down low. He's finishing all the nice passes on the pick and rolls. He's obviously a spot-up shooter, and they should know better than to leave him out there like that. Rob Lowe is winding back the clock. He's playing extended minutes, too, because Marcus Lee is obviously not playing. So Rob Lowe's having a game to remember so far.
Well, he's certainly taking advantage of the lowly front line. Only Sam Menenga and Prim Lopez out there for the New Zealand Breakers, who are just depleted through injury right now. He's doing it from outside. He's doing it from inside. As you look at the Blackmore shot chart, there is a whole lot of green, and surprisingly, just the 1 dot on the 3-point line.
He got 1 for 2.
It's efficient.
And he don't want that right side of that Blackmore shot chart. That's okay. Robin's getting the job done. Melbourne United, without Chris Goulding, without Ian Clark, they are an institution. They just play the right way, the right style of basketball. They're not going to do anything too crazy, and they're always going to give themselves a chance to win.
Well, let's head down to Tom Abercrombie. A pretty good first half from the Breakers there, Tom.
Yeah, it was certainly a very hot start from the Breakers, 4 for 4 from the 3-point line to start off. They tailed off a little bit, but I think overall for that first half, they'd be pretty happy with where they're at. Melbourne, as you said, they just keep churning away. They bring in whoever and they get the job done. Rob Lowe's been fantastic. You just feel like they're starting to get their foot in front in this one, but the Breakers, they've shown some heart so far.
Absolutely, they have, Tom. Now, Tom, what about Sam Menenga? He's having a great first half. What's your thoughts on him so far?
Yeah, well, the Battle of the Bigs was always going to be an important one in this one, and Sam Menenga, he's been absolutely fantastic. 15 first half points for him. He has absolutely stepped up when he needed to, shooting the 3 when he needs to, but really he's been doing all his work down low and going straight at big Rob Lowe at the other end. He's showing really good poise. The Melbourne United rotations have been just a little bit too slow sometimes on some of those mismatches down low, and he's done a fantastic job of finishing. He's going to have to do more of the same in the second half. He's obviously carrying a pretty heavy load in the big man department for the Breakers tonight, but the Breakers have got to love what they see from Big Sammy in the first half.
They certainly do. Thanks for that, Tom. Sam Menenga coming off his equal career-high 25 points last game. He's tracking towards eclipsing that this week. A 3-point lead for Melbourne United. Second half coming up next.
with 3 shots. First one is short, but it drops in. That's the toughest one. Adelaide season, they just have to watch Damon Lowry make these free throws and light it up. Oh my, 2 tricklers. This is to get to the grand final. Oh my goodness! Oh my God! The greatest finish in a semifinal ever.
He's very excited, obviously, Steve. Damon, big shot, big 3 shots. I know this got to be the highlight of a basketball career that's had so many turns. I don't know what to say, man. How did you feel when you had those 3 shots? There were 3 very shaky ones, but they all count. They all count.
I was just thinking, get it over the front of the rim. And I'm thinking it might as well be up. It might as well be up, man.
It was a very odd game. Where did you find the energy to hang in there and pull that team through?
Our team manager found the energy to live another extra 6 months with terminal cancer, and it's just a basketball game. So we had it in perspective. We ain't quitting for nothing.
Damon, great job, and 3 of the clutchest free throws I've ever seen in my life.
Thanks, man.
Good luck. Good luck in the grand final.
2 things, Damon Lowry. 1, that was a flop. There was no contact at all. And 2, your sense of theatre is unmatched.
You know how hard it is to make those bounce around like that on purpose, man?
Also to grow your hair back from being bald 20 goddamn years ago, and now you're coming in with a full head of it.
Yeah, good times back then.
I was wondering what you spent all that time in Turkey for. We're back underway at Wolfbrook Arena. A 3-point lead to Melbourne United. Menenga, who's the hot hand in that first half, can't get it to go to open up the second.
Once again, great offensive execution. Sam got a shot he liked, just didn't get it to go, but can't help but be impressed with how both teams executing offensively.
Dellavedova finds Rob Lowe, who's been the hot hand for United. He can't open their account. Lopez will pull it down. Lopez, one-on-one against Jack White. White gets the better of him, and he'll push it in transition.
And that was only Kareem Lopez's second shot of the game. Hasn't been really featured in the offense that much. He's got to get himself involved without fouling.
And as you say it, and 1 for the veteran Shea Ili. Melbourne United open up the second half just how they would have wanted. But you speak about Kareem Lopez, it's remarkable how unselfish and how poised he is as a player. Because a lot of guys, they got a lot to play for. These guys are on their way to the NBA. They want to impress, but Kareem Lopez is one of those guys where winning is the first thing on his mind.
And he's come to a great program. Obviously, he's getting some great coaching by Coach Toppin and his staff. And he's a poised young man. I spoke to him when he was in Melbourne. Felt like I was talking to a grown-up, a proper grown-up. So now he's in the right spot. Glad we're going to get another year out of him after this.
Amazing. You look at the ability that he's shown this year, and we get 1 more year of him. Coach Kopp certainly excited with the talented prospect, and it's going to be exciting to see just how far he can climb his way up that NBA draft board. But for the superstars of now, Menenga. Dried up from outside. Down to Krebs. And Rob Lowe will pull it down. Ili finds Lowe down low. Thrown away by Lopez.
Delly dodged the bullet on the other end. Rotated real late on Sam Menenga's pick and pop. He didn't pay on that one. I'm sure Dean will spot that on the videotape and show it to him in training.
Delly works into the middle. His signature floater doesn't go.
Delly's only shooting a 3 of 10 from the field. Got off to a quick start with his 8 points. Hasn't done much since the first quarter, offensively anyway.
Melbourne United's offense certainly it's been harder to come by in that second quarter. It doesn't get much easier than that for the big man, Jack White.
Yeah, Jack White just kind of bullied the 17-year-old just then. Kareem didn't want to pick up his 3rd foul. Had to let him go.
Mooney works on Dellavedova, finds Menenga up top. PJC has been a little quiet since that first quarter. Gets the matchup with Bowen here, steps back. Finds Menenga in the middle, who spin, hook, miss. Ili takes it the other way. Pushes it in transition, he'll pick up the foul.
See, it's going to be tough. I mean, obviously, this 8-point lead, it feels bigger than 8, even though it's only 4 buckets. With that first half, PJC, Sam Meninga, and Matt Mooney combined for all but 6 of the points. Now, you might think they might need a little bit of help feeding. Somebody else is going to have to step up to take the pressure off. I don't think 3 guys can beat Melbourne United.
Illy will work off the Rob Lowe screen. Daly once again finds the big man down low. He butchers that. Both Dellavedova and Shea Illy have done a fantastic job of finding Rob Lowe in the middle all game. And he just can't reward them that time.
Yeah, that's 2 misses from Rob in close. That's good pick and roll basketball. That's why this playing gonna never go out of style. Both teams are punishing the way each team is guarding it, and they're getting layups out of it.
He certainly found the weakness in the Breakers defense. Depleted by injury on that front line. PJC steps back, loses his footing. Mooney will get it from Meninga. Fakes Daly out of it. Rattles out, and Jack White will come up with it. Daly kicks it hard, and Rob Lowe steps out of bounds.
I got to give Shea Illy some more credit, man. Not that he needs it, but the defense, it just doesn't go on stat sheets. He stops Parker Jackson Cartwright's initial drive to the basket. Parker wants to go get the ball back. Shea didn't relax. He denied him. It just doesn't stop with him.
Jackson Cartwright has slowed down since that first quarter. Looks to get himself going here. Can't. Daly will push it. Another full court heave. This time Bowen comes up with it, kicks it to Lowe. Can't complete, and the Breakers just prevent this one from pushing out to double digits. Mooney, guarded well by Daly. Lopez, he's been unselfish so far. Finds Meninga, too easy down low, a breakdown in defense. And Meninga with 17 points.
I was just about to say, Sam, you got to stop turning down these wide open threes. But due to that defensive breakdown, got himself an easy deuce.
Daly just bulldogs his way to the rim. PJC gets to the middle, finds the sharpshooter in Anticevic, can't finish. United will come up with it. Illy, nice little dump off to Rob Lowe. He'll draw the foul, much to the displeasure of Karim Lopez.
I don't know how you say displeasure in Spanish.
El displeasure.
But he wouldn't be happy with that 3rd foul. Copp's gonna have to go deep into his bench. Might see some Max Darling again, even though Max is also in foul trouble. He's gonna leave Kareem out there for the moment.
Don't forget that it is the Heritage Round competition that they've got running as well. You're gonna vote for your favorite 3-pointer in NBL history for your chance to win $1,000. All thanks to Mitsubishi Motors. You can enter via the QR code, nbl.com.au/heritage. Players that are nominated there: Jerome Randall, Jack McVeigh, Cedric Jackson, Ben Knight, Nigel Purchase, who pushed one from, I believe, 94 feet. And, of course, Andrew Vlahov. Some unbelievable history throughout the league. But get online, vote for your best via that QR code or on the website.
My man, Benny Knight, the Rough Rider.
Benny Knight. PJC from outside to get the Breakers going. It's good. Back to a 7-point lead to United. Much needed bucket for New Zealand. Lowe, he's been a focal point of the United offense, and he just sees a fellow New Zealander in the crowd, and he says, you have a turn.
And Dean Vickerman would not be happy as we look at the Amy replay. How do you let the MVP front runner just dribble down uncontested and shoot the 3 ball?
And you talk about a coach killer. Shea Illy's done a good job of just containing him and giving him hell all night. And then he gets an open look like that. Dean Vickerman and Shea Illy certainly won't be happy with that.
Here's my only criticism of Shea Illy.
Here we go.
With all due respect, you come out of the game too soon, man. I know you're playing your butt off, you get tired, but you're getting tired now. 3 minutes, we got 3.5 minutes of Shea.
I think your criticism should be directed.
Come on, man, you got to be able to do that for like 7 or 8 minutes.
I'd say your criticism should be directed towards Mr. Vickerman, because I don't think Shea Illy ever wants to come out of the game on his own volition.
I've seen him put his hand up before. that's the thing these days.
Speaking of Heritage Round, isn't it like the old days where the superstars have played 40 minutes? Jackson Cartwright can't get that one. That would have lifted the lid off the venue.
I think what happens
is just hanging in.
Because of the depth is so deep and coaches go so deep into their bench, players are not used to playing big minutes. So whenever they do, they get super exhausted.
Oh, they don't make them like they used to.
Not back in my day.
Low, whips it over to Bowen. Gets it back to Blogger, pushes against the smaller Jackson Cartwright. Bangs that one off the backboard, it's no good. PJC, can he get going? An easy miss there. Uncharacteristic for Parker Jackson Cartwright. Daly, the characteristic drive through the middle of the rim, gets blocked. And Melbourne United will come up with them. Such a good offensive rebounding team. Rob Lowe, the kill from outside. And we are back to a double-digit game.
New Zealand Breakers, this is danger time. This pace does not suit you. Melbourne United want to get up and down and run because they feel they got the horses even with a couple guards out. As we saw Deli attack the rim, he took a bad shot. But they managed to get the offensive rebound and make them pay.
Well, it's the Thursday night doubleheader. The Hungry Jacks Heritage Round presented by Mitsubishi Motors and the Jack Jumpers against the Taipans. The Taipans, they need to start winning and they need to start now. As cool as Adam Ford looks, he'll be even cooler if he can get a couple of wins on that column. And Rob Edwards, he's going to look to be firing as well. A massive game coming up on the back end of this one. But all this is a double-digit game right now, Damon. From what we've seen in the New Zealand Breakers, expect them to fight back as we listen in here. Tanner Krebs just kicks it around right there, and Rob Lowe now leading all scorers with 21 points.
Next one offensively, I just want an early back cut. Tanner, we're putting you in the Spanish right now. All right, go ahead and get Dell in the middle. Smack him on that one, and then get out of it. All right, here we go.
All right, we're going to see if they can come out and execute. But right now, this 10-point lead is starting to just some worrying signs for the Breakers. They can't try to get this all back in a couple of possessions because when the Breakers are at their worst, the ball doesn't move and they go one-on-one too much.
Let's go courtside to Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, look, I think you guys are spot on. The Breakers haven't quite looked as energised as they did in that first half coming out here. Coach Kopp's been up to the bench about 3 or 4 times to start this quarter, threatening a timeout and walked back there. He finally pulls the trigger to try and re-energise his team a little bit. Obviously, it's worrying signs at the moment. They need to find their form again, not let Melbourne get away with this one. But Melbourne looking pretty settled, starting to settle into their work.
Mananga was begging for the ball down low. The mismatch on Dellavedova gets it to the outside. And again, a full court pass. Cole Bowen gets it in transition. Krebs, cash.
If I didn't know any better, I swear that was a play. That looked too choreographed.
That was a play, but it was a play usually reserved for the NFL. Not often seen in a basketball league, but you look at that. That's something Melbourne United have clearly. Dellavedova's gone to this multiple times. They've noticed that New Zealand aren't getting back quick enough, and Coach Kopp would not be happy. He's referenced it multiple times so far.
I mean, that was an elaborate offensive transition play. And just so you know, if you think you're going to post up Deli down there and not get a forearm to the ribs, you don't know who you're dealing with.
New Zealand, the lead's out to 13 for Melbourne United. They need buckets and they need them now, and that is the man to go to. PJC needs to get going, and that's a good start.
The catch has got, oh, that's a bad foul. Bad foul. That's PJC's third. I was just about to say, a catcher Lear, he's got to do a better job of containing the ball. You're long. You cannot guard Parker Jackson Cartwright close. It is as simple as that. Use your lift, use your wingspan, gap him a little bit. And there's Parker going for a steal.
Just a bit of a brain fade there as he looks to get himself a little more involved in this ball game. And his third personal.
This is when, if this was a different era, Parker Jackson would get posted up as soon as he steps foot on the floor with his third foul. But he's lucky he's in this non-guard posted up era.
Sounds like you're certainly talking from experience there. $11-point lead for Melbourne United, a little over 4 minutes remaining in this third term. It's been a seesaw affair, but Melbourne United, biggest lead being 13. The Breakers don't want to let this one push out too far as we go courtside to Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, look, just an observation. I think it's been spoken about a little bit that the rebounding tactics the Breakers sort of employ on the offensive end, the smash or jamming down, sending 5 guys, trying to put pressure on the defensive transition of Melbourne that way, but it's exposing them at the other end, and you just wonder if that's an area that Melbourne United has looked into, and something that Matthew Dellavedova is so good at, making those full court passes. He knows that there's a weakness back there, and they're targeting it so far.
Yeah, defensive transition rules have changed a little bit, I think, over the last 20 years since I was out there in them streets. There's a lot of tagging up now. Aaron Fern's made it quite popular. But I guess the flip side to that is it's a foot speed. It's a foot race once the defensive rebound is got. And if Delly's going to be out there throwing passes like Tony Romo, it's going to be tough in transition to get stops.
62-50. PJC on the bench in foul trouble. Matt Mooney's going to need to get himself going. Darling with the screen. Mooney likes the matchup with Aaliyah, gets deep into the paint, and Aaliyah, well guarded and forces the travel.
There's a lot to like about her catch. The shot catcher, the dog catcher. I got to come up with something for the catcher.
About to say, you might want to keep thinking. Because I'm not sure any of those ones are going to stick, Damon. Illy gets deep into the paint. Krebs has already hit from outside. Can't get it again, but Aaliyah will come up with the board. Illy shakes and bakes. Can't get the finish. Jantasevich will yank it down. Bairstow finds Mooney. Flirts with the shot for a moment, turns it down.
You're getting real stagnant.
Rakers just struggling to get the paint. King finds a way, but he runs straight through the chest of you-know-who, Shea Illy.
Bad offense is getting real stagnant. Mojave King is trying to get himself involved. He's only got the one shot. But they're going to have to rely on the offensive structure. You just can't get back into this game playing one-on-one basketball. Melbourne United are too sound on defense. And now Parker checks back in on his 3 fouls. Don't worry, you're not going to get posted up. But he can't do anything silly like reaching in.
It's now or never for the Breakers. I'm reliably informed that Aaliyah's nickname is the Battery. Of course, he catch Aaliyah double A batteries.
Nah.
Not bad, not bad.
Give me some time, I can do better than that.
No, I will challenge you to do so. As Shea Illy, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Works on Jantasevich. Tries to draw the contact. Jantasevich does a good job and walls up. Mooney. Breakers just keeping this one to 12 for the last few possessions. Need to get going on offense. PJC, that's the man to do it. The errant pass there is tipped off. Jack White in transition. Rarely is he stopped. And he certainly isn't that time.
The catcher, he's everywhere. Just picks up a steal, gets Jack White out in transition. I would like to see the Breakers go back to the action they was running when Matt Mooney was in the corner and he had a decision to make whether he used a double screen or not. Haven't seen that in a while.
Menenga, of course, been stranded on 17 points for a while. Mooney's shot is errant. And the pass tipped off by Melbourne, and they'll take it the other way. Starting to create a buffer here. Flynn Cameron. Danger signs for the Breakers as the lead pushes out to 17.
Wow, just like that. 17-point lead. Flynn Cameron with his 3 fouls.
PJC through the middle. Finds Bairstow. Can't finish. Jantasevich will tip it back. Goes upstairs. And Menenga can't finish that.
Get up, Sam!
And we hope he's all good on that end.
He's just embarrassed. Sometimes you fall down through embarrassment. Hopefully he's not hurt and I went too hard.
We hope that, of course, the struggles on the injury end are well documented for the New Zealand Breakers without almost all of their front line at the moment. Dane Pinot, Taco Fall, the new recruit, and of course Jonah Bolden, who I think people underestimate the involvement of Jonah Bolden. It may not come up in the stat sheet, but his ability to spread the floor and move the ball.
Now he just landed awkwardly. Might have cramped up a little bit, but he's okay now. He's still annoyed at himself. But yeah, you're right. Jonah Bolden it was huge. I mean, even though Jonah wasn't putting up eye-catching stats, for what he was doing for the team, everybody had their role. And Jonah would come in there and give, 7 points, 5 rebounds, change a couple of shots. Just that extra threat to stretch the floor, he's missed.
Can I present another nickname for a catcher-leer to you?
What do you got?
The Learjet.
Oh, what?
Talk to me nice, Damon Lowry.
A Learjet. Let us know, catch what you think. That's the front runner, surely. That's way better than battery. Whoever came up with battery just
Battery's a tough one. There's multiple connotations, and you don't really want to be referred to as battery. I'll take Learjet any day as Shea Ely goes to the line. An 18-point lead for Melbourne United. The Breakers, well, they've come back before. It'll take a world of effort from here. Still another quarter to play. Plenty of time. PJC, great little pass to Max Darling, and he'll get the chance to eat into the lead.
I don't know what that defensive set was from the Melbourne United. It looked like it was a zone, but it couldn't have been, because that's not what Dino does. That was just a breakdown. And this is what Melbourne United got to be careful of. You've done all the hard work in this third quarter to stretch this thing out to, nice little 18-point lead, holding the Breakers to 7 points for this quarter. Now you can't go and get sloppy, because we saw what PJC did in Perth. Just when that game looked like it was over with, he can single-handedly bring this thing close.
Darling goes 0 for 2 from the line just when the Breakers most needed it. Flynn Cameron will push the pace in transition. Euro stepping around, and he'll get thrown out of there. Courtside to Tom Abercrombie.
We saw the frustration on Sam Meninga's face after that alley-oop failed attempt, but he's gone absolutely storming off into the locker room after that, so not sure if he's picked up a little injury as he's come down, landed awkwardly, if it's some cramps and he's just getting stretched out the back, but one to watch going forward in this one.
Certainly is not an injury that the Breakers can afford at all. Cameron finds Illy up top, works off the Alir on ball, who gets it in the middle, goes up and finishes.
The Learjet?
The Learjet. Didn't quite go enough upstairs to be called the Learjet. That was more of a AA battery type shot. 19 seconds on the clock, 4-second differential between the shot and game clock. Mooney in no rush. 20-point lead for United. Mooney works on Alir, steps back, gets rid of him, and can't complete, but Darling will come up with the board. Antisevich will clean it back up. And the Breakers, a lid on the rim right now as bodies go flying towards the end. We hope Tanner Krebs hasn't got the straight elbow right now, but Melbourne United blow the third quarter out, a 20-point lead. The fourth quarter coming up next. Jack's Heritage Round brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors. And right now the Breakers, well, they want to be throwing it all the way back to the first half, because what they brought in that third quarter was not up to the standard of Petteri Koppinen and his team in Melbourne United. Well, they took full advantage and they've pushed this lead out to 20 points. One thing, Damon Lowry, we've learnt in the NBL is leads mean nothing.
They don't mean a damn thing. But in saying that, Melbourne United holding them to 7 points, the Breakers that is, 7 points in that third quarter. Melbourne United's defense is just relentless. It's just gonna keep coming until Breakers crack, and they cracked in that quarter. Let's see if they can pull it back.
The Breakers are gonna have to put up a stand on the defensive end. Rob Lowe gets in the middle a little too easy. He leads all scorers with 23 points, having the best scoring career of his best scoring year of his career, albeit after initially retiring. Remarkable stuff from Rob Lowe. Bairstow can't find Anticevic cutting to the rim. PJC has it up top. He'll be the man to lead them back if they can. Anticevic gets inside, finds Darling, who puts it in.
Good extra pass. You have to beat Melbourne United with some passes. Like right now, the Breakers only got the 7 assists. One-on-one basketball is not going to get it done against a team that just prides themselves on defense like United.
The Breakers looking to find their spark. And Melbourne United in no rush to get a shot up as Rob Lowe whips it across to the trebuchet. That's good. It may not be the prettiest jump shot, but he can certainly knock it down, Kyle Bowen.
Can he ever? Say what you want about the form. He's 50%. 50%, Pete, Phoenix. I get you guys confused.
Darling looks to pass out. Great little pass down low on the air one for Karim Lopez.
Doing his best Mojave King impersonation.
Certainly is right there. I saw Karim Lopez getting ready to sub into the game. And I'll mix them up right there. But let's head down to Tom Abercrombie, because Tom, I just get the feeling when you look at how Rob Lowe's playing, you just might want to sub in there yourself and you think you got a little bit of juice left in the tank.
I'm certainly not getting that feeling, Felix, but I am enjoying watching the big fella go to work. It is just great to see how comfortable and how much fun he's having out there on the court. Obviously went through a couple of tough seasons, had that early retirement, but he's come back better than ever, and he's just got the type of game that just gets better with age too. He's so smart out in the court, makes great decisions when the ball's in his hands. He's shooting the ball at a really high clip, and he's found a role in this Melbourne United team that just suits him to an absolute T. So really pleased for the big...
Oh, what the hell is going on?
The fountain of youth is alive at Melbourne United. Rob Lowe having one of the games of his career, 25 points, and throws down the hammer. Menenga looks to stem the bleeding from the outside. He can't. Lopez is back into the game after an extended break.
Felix, what are we watching here? We look at the Amy replay.
Look at the Amy replay here. Rob Lowe goes upstairs and slams down the hammer. Old versus young.
I don't know if Jack White was in shock or just extremely enthused.
You know how the people always say you try to act cool after you dunk on someone? Rob Lowe certainly failed that test.
No, forget about being cool. When's the last time Rob Lowe dunked on somebody like that out of a pick and roll of all things? Playing great basketball.
Just astounding to think that Rob Lowe was in retirement and he was brought out by Melbourne United, and he's playing this sort of basketball at this late stage of his career. Breakers need to get going desperately. Menenga gets it out to the corner. That's no good.
Yeah, now I can see what Melbourne United been working on since the last time they played the Breakers and got it handed to them. They're rotating a lot better out of those ball screen, out of those drop coverages. They contesting shots. The occasional breakdown here and there, but that happens. This is basketball. But they've built themselves a beautiful 22-point lead on the back of good offensive execution and some solid D.
22-point lead for Melbourne, looking very, very tough to overcome, and it gets even tougher as Jack White splashes one from the corner.
Petteri Koppinen got caught out in that 2-3 zone. They didn't defend the corner. Jack White helped himself.
And the Breakers just being stifled on the offensive end right now. PJC whips it back, it's taken away, and Shea Ili who's going to push that one in transition. Up, under, and one. He'll go to the line for an extra.
Well, they've broken him.
You know what they say, Damon Lowry, right now, Melbourne United, they're having fun with it. Yeah, they are having fun with it. And if you're the New Zealand Breakers, you're going into that film room and you're looking at this tape of guys celebrating, guys mucking around, dunking on guys. Yeah, it'll light a fire up them.
Yeah, Melbourne United have literally broken the Breakers. That is a, what is that, 27-point lead. Doing it easy.
Well, Coach Cobb, there's certainly been some coach killers throughout this game so far, Damon, and a lot of film to study for the Breakers right now, who, over the last couple of games, have really taken a turn.
Have they ever? That first half they had today was some good basketball. Took care of the basketball, they ran through their stuff, got easy shots, was defending in a reasonable clip. Actually, was defending very well. The Melbourne United just was shooting the ball well. But I don't know what team just came out in the third quarter. I have no idea who that team is, and Coach Kopp doesn't either.
New Zealand Breakers started so strong from the outside. The Breakers 4 for 4 from the three-point line to start this game, and quite a different story from then on, and a credit to Melbourne United on the defensive end, but a lot of uncontested turnovers and a lot of misses for the Breakers.
Melbourne United, they were still stinging after that loss in Melbourne to New Zealand. They came out for some payback, and their defense, it didn't get off to a great start because of the way that New Zealand was shooting the ball, but over the course of 4 quarters, Melbourne United's defense does not take that many plays off.
Seven minutes remain in the fourth term, an extensive lead for United. The Breakers will need a miracle from here as that one gets tipped off. Jack White will push it in transition, taken away by PJC. Mooney, hard drive baseline, draws the foul on Dellavedova.
Halftime, New Zealand Breakers had just the 4 turnovers. They now are up to 10 turnovers. They've just gotten sloppy with the ball. Obviously, being in a hole this big, forced them to get a little bit desperate, which is causing them to get even more sloppier.
Lopez gets it down low. Thought there was contact. It goes unwhistled.
And this is a game of 17-year-olds just going to have from time to time. We're not going to overreact. Kareem Lopez is still champagne-type stuff. But right now, 0 for 3, got the 4 rebounds and 1 assist. Just not one of his better days. But like I said, he's 17. Got to take the good with the bad in this situation.
Certainly is, and there's a lot of these young guys, they have one game, one massive breakout game. And from then on, we saw it with Lamella, we saw it with Gideon. I think Kareem Lopez is around that level of talent. The Learjet goes middle, nice shovel pass to Bowen, who gets upstairs, and he'll get himself an and one as the Melbourne United just continue to lay on the hurt at Wolfbrook Arena.
This is all about percentages now, because this game is over. And if you're the Breakers, you can't lay down for these last 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Do not lay down. It's not the Kiwi way.
Melbourne United, they know the importance of points difference. Been on the receiving of it into the past. And of course, the month of January, of course, the Australian Open, as Bowen can't convert that. Melbourne United spent a long time on the road, so any wins they can get before the month of January are almost worth double, because that is a long road trip while the tennis is on. Mooney, baseline, pulls up, gets that one to fall. Jack White gets it back to Daly, crosses back, bulldogs his way to the room and throws it out to Bowen. Can't complete.
Granat to Savage dodged the bullet over, helping on that drive. Left a 50% three-point shooter, Kyle Bowen, wide open in the corner. Lucky he didn't pay for it.
Melbourne United just so deep with talent that sometimes get lost between the Olympians, NBA champions that filter through this roster.
But the bench is strong and like they're young. Like, you even look at a guy like Tanner Krebs. He's not an old guy. You'd almost call him a veteran. Seems like he's been around for ages.
PJC looks to have just copped an errant elbow to the chin there from the Learjet.
You gotta keep saying Learjet until it sticks, huh?
Gotta keep going until it sticks, man.
He's definitely the front runner, I'll give you that.
Let's go courtside to Tom Abercrombie. Few technical difficulties there. Tom might be running back to lace up, get his shoes on and get ready to help out his old team. That'll be a true heritage round.
Tom looking in great shape. He could probably get you 6 rebounds right now.
Tell you what, man, at Rob Lowe, Tom Abercrombie's got some life left in those legs. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Right now, as the refs just try to work out whether there's anything illegal happening there, and of course, an accidental elbow. Nothing untoward as it's whistled on the inbound.
At some point, even as a head coach, Frederick Coppin, he knows this game is over. Your team is, even though they're going to play hard because they're professionals, they know they're not coming back winning this game. So what do you say to each other? When you look at each other in the eye, you can only say one thing. You got to play with pride now. We want to hold them under 100, and we want to get this as close as possible.
Points difference, such a big thing towards the end of the year, especially for teams that are going to be fighting for a playoff opportunity. Melbourne United right now have themselves as the benchmark as they knock another one in from outside. Points difference, you'd imagine, probably won't mean too much for Melbourne United, but for a team like New Zealand, getting into that top 4, it certainly could come down to it. So plenty to play for, even as this game dies down. A little over 5 minutes remain. Lopez found going middle.
And one thing that can go wrong, too, in these last 5 minutes and 14 seconds is you can reinforce some bad habits. I just saw, I think it was Anticevic help out of the corner, gave Tanner Krebs a wide open 3. You don't want to be doing anything that's going to just compound later. As Mitch McCarron gets some late minutes.
It was a high-octane first half, but a 7-point third quarter for the New Zealand Breakers. Just sat the life out of this game. Mitch McCarron in for New Zealand. Anticevic jabs down, gets to the middle, fades, cashes it. Of course, stick around after this one. Tasmania and the Cairns Taipans going head-to-head on this Thursday night doubleheader. Dellavedova. Nice pass to Bowen down low. And all too easy for United.
Way too easy. Frederick Coppin just drops his head.
Mooney gets into the paint for 2.
Now, I don't know how karma works. I don't know how it works, Phoenix, but there was a time when this, Phoenix.
Right now, what can go wrong for the Breakers will go wrong, and we've got to say, they've been depleted by injury on the front line, and we're seeing some of the effects. Of course, United hitting fire from the outside, but the Breakers, of course, as Anticevic knocks one from outside.
As I was going to say, I don't know how karma works, but there was a time when this Breakers team was 7-3 and looking great. And then a couple of moves made, and now we're in a situation where, corner 3 again, we're in a situation where they could be facing an uphill battle. They're sliding fast, Felix. I hate to see them go back to where we all had them kind of predicted in the preseason.
They're certainly sliding, but of course with some of these injuries, the Breakers will have a chance to get a couple of replacement players in, and Taco Fall will make himself back into that lineup. And look, of course, Taco Fall's a guy a lot of people talk about whether he's going to be able to stay uninjured and move through. He did have 5 blocks in a very, very short amount of time, so he can prove to be a force when he's out there, and the more he gets to know the NBL and gets to know the league, I'm sure he'll be better for it. So certainly do not write off the New Zealand Breakers just yet, because they're certainly not a team to be underestimated. But don't forget as well, it is all about to happen in the month of January. The NBL Summer Shootout is here. Choose the club that will score the highest points in their Summer Shootout game and correctly predict their score for your chance to win. And I can't believe it's this much. It's unbelievable. $100,000. You can enter via the QR code or nbl.com.au/shootout. $100,000. It's a remarkable prize.
To try to pick the score, might as well make it $1 million. But I think Melbourne United, I think they settled on Adelaide 36ers.
And there is going to be some bad blood when those two teams face. So a very interesting choice. And I may add that those decisions were put in long before that altercation took place. So
Aaliyah! I don't know what your career high is.
Less than what Aaliyah's got.
I hope every team that got called out takes it with all the disrespect that it was intended for. You're not gonna win this money on my watch. That should be the attitude.
31-point lead after a neck-and-neck first half. A 7-point quarter as Campbell Blogg gets pulled up in transition. Just stifled the momentum of the Breakers, who opened this account, we've said it time and time again, 4 for 4.
Somebody put a microphone on Ian Clark. We don't know what's wrong with you.
And Ian Clark, of course,
is it a hip?
Headed into this game being managed. So he was, if needed, he was available to get out there with a hip injury.
Okay. Yeah, definitely didn't need Ian Clark out there with his precision and efficiency. Just fly to New Zealand for just a bit of a, just watch the boys and support the younger crew.
30-point lead as Campbell Blogg looks to make that 31, and a good chance now for some of the younger guys buried down the end of the bench for both teams to be able to get a chance. But as we've said, points differential as you get towards the back end of the season, it is going to mean an awful lot. McCarron, Davidson, Antisevich with Cameron on him, backs him down. Darling gets hit in the middle and throws it down. A small shining light for the crowd in what has been a dark night for the Breakers.
Real excited about that had it not been a 29-point game.
Krebs with a hard drive, can't finish down the middle. Nice pass from McCarron to Davidson. Darling makes a look at 2 for 2 in as many possessions that he does. I hate to say it, Damon, but the run might be a little too late.
No, but you got to keep playing. You got to keep playing. Every point counts. There's no such thing as jump time for any players that don't play a whole lot.
Campbell Blogg with a nice little dump pass to Bowen, who just a lid on the rim. Can't finish.
Tell you what, though, Carlin Davis and alley-oop play, if that's not in the playbook, that'd be my only criticism of Pettery Coppin.
For those unaware of Carlin Davidson's game, he can get up. Darling, pressured by Cameron, switches onto him. Bairstow looks to barrel through. And an offensive foul. Campbell Blogg doing it on both ends.
Way to put your little chest on the line. Campbell put his body right there, took it right in the chest. That's what the weight room is for, though. Work on your pectorials.
Well, the Breakers doing their best to just try to make this as respectable as it possibly can be. But the result, cemented. Melbourne United continue to roll. We mentioned before, any wins before the January break worth almost double as they get ready for their tennis-induced road trip. Cameron pulls up. Can't finish. United will once again come up with the offensive rebound. Cameron will get it back. Fakes it out, uses the big body. Finds Krebs on the outside. He'll cross back to the middle. And United just struggling to get it to go. 45 seconds left. A dominant effort, a 7-point quarter from the New Zealand Breakers. You can't help but think that's where the game was won and lost. McCarron pushes his way through the middle. Too short, too little, too late.
Yeah, it was a definite game of two halves.
Certainly was. You forget how neck and neck was a 3-point margin at half-time. And Melbourne United just dominant as Krebs look to put one final dagger in. Can't do it, but Petteri Koppinen and the New Zealand Breakers with plenty of soul-searching to do. The big move of getting Freddie Gillespie out of there right now looks to have harmed them.
You're not going to leave it alone, are you? And neither am I.
Thought it was an interesting move.
No, it was interesting. It was bad timing. You know, say for example, you're on the poker table, Felix. You're playing Texas No Limit Hold'em. You get dealt a 2 and a 10 off suit.
Yeah.
You got to play that hand, man.
Oh, I'm playing it no matter what cards I got, man. You know,
play that hand.
You know me well. I'm bluffing it. I'm playing it.
You got to wait for the flop. You don't know what the flop can change your life.
I'm throwing the cards in someone's face and stealing the money that's on the table and running out the door, Damon. You know me well enough. I'm not finishing that poker game. But Melbourne United right now are going to finish this one victors to the tune of 27 points. A tough night for the New Zealand Breakers. To their credit, they were depleted on the front line. Dane Pinot, Taco Fall, Jonah Bolden out of this lineup. Sam Menenga and Karim Lopez left to fight it out by themselves. Melbourne United, well, they decided to go small. And if you look at the scoreboard right there, it looks to have worked as we go downstairs to Tom Abercrombie.
Yes, I'm joined by the man of the moment, Rob Lowe. Dominant performance from United and yourself. That must have felt good.
Yeah, it was really good. You know, down a few guys tonight, and you know, a lot of guys stepped up. You know, a catch, Bloggy, great job off the bench, and yeah, it was just a good game.
Now, talk me through the dunk, mate. You wound back the clock for Heritage Round. How did that feel?
Yeah, just watching some of your highlights from back in the day. You know, just channeling my inner Tom Abercrombie.
Great to see, and looking forward to Brisbane on Sunday. What are you got to do in that one?
Yeah, we got a short turnaround. You know, get the bodies right, get in the film room with the coaches, and get the game plan right.
Well, great job tonight, mate. Enjoy the win. Back
Rob
to you guys.
Lowe, our Foot Locker player of the game. Melbourne United with their hands in right now. We set it time and time, sound again like a broken record. But every win before January for the benchmark of the competition is Melbourne United right now is almost worth double. The New Zealand Breakers with a bit of soul searching. Melbourne United continue their role at the top of the table. We'll be back to break it all down on the other end of the break.